You're listening to Systemic Error Podcast. The failure was designed.
Inside the secret $100K tool giving traders Trump's news first, based on an article by Robert Wright. Trump is selling the privilege of knowing Trump. Power. Trump Meteor is launching a paid feed for high-frequency traders that will deliver real-time access to posts from the highest-ranking Truth Social accounts before the public sees them. The price can run to $100,000 a month. That is the entire business model in one sentence. Package presidential speech as a tradable advantage, then sell the timing edge to the people best positioned to profit from it. The institutional power here is obvious. Trump is not a bystander to this arrangement. He is the company's largest shareholder, the public figure whose posts move markets, and the occupant of the White House whose words can rattle stocks, tariffs, and Fed expectations. When one man can swing markets and his company sells faster access to that man's words, this is not Meteor innovation. It is corruption engineered as product design. The mechanism, the article's most useful line, is also the most damning. If traders are behind on the feed, you'll get crushed. That is the logic of insider advantage stripped of polite language. The value is not in analysis, journalism, or even persuasion. It is in asymmetric timing. Buy the early glimpse, beat the crowd, extract the spread. That is why the story should not be treated as another weird Trump side hustle. It is a market mechanism built around proximity to power. Trump's posts are not just commentary. They are signals with financial consequences. Turning those signals into a paywalled, fast-to-the-public product is a direct monetization of presidential influence. If this is legal in any meaningful democratic sense, the law has already surrendered. The cover story. Trump Meteor's interim CEO calls the feed a meaningful, ongoing source of revenue and says it creates lasting value for shareholders. That language is the usual corporate disinfectant: shareholder value, revenue stream, product offering. It is meant to make extraction sound like enterprise. But the source is not a neutral market story. It is a story about a president using the informational power of his office to enrich himself and his allies. The article is right to call out the legal and constitutional problem, even if the enforcement picture is murkier because the Supreme Court has handed Trump broad immunity for official acts. Immunity does not make the conduct less corrupt. It just makes the system more willing to live with it. Congress's performance. The same moment also exposes a different kind of institutional cowardice. House Republican leaders are moving a bill that would place new limits on lawmakers trading stocks. Democrats, correctly, say it does not go far enough because it lets members keep shares they already own. Republicans also tucked in a mail-in voting poison pill, which tells you everything about their priorities even when they are forced to pretend to oppose corruption. They still want to sabotage voting access. That matters because Congress is not suddenly discovering ethics. It is responding to public disgust. Americans hate insider trading because they understand the basic rule: if ordinary people would be punished for the same behavior, elected officials should not be allowed to cash in on their office. The problem is not a shortage of moral language. The problem is a political class that keeps trying to convert public anger into a procedural stunt. The real message: Trump, meanwhile, does not need to pretend. He is not up for re-election. He does not need to moderate, reassure, or hide behind institutional respectability. He can be as brazen as he wants because his project is not governance in any serious sense. It is money, power, and revenge packaged as presidential authority. That is why the story is bigger than one feed, one company, or one stock market gimmick. It shows how authoritarian politics fuses spectacle, grievance, and private enrichment into one machine. The public sees chaos. The insiders see monetizable chaos. And the people around Trump keep building products that convert democratic office into a private revenue stream. Systemic error. The pattern is not accidental. It is a governing style. Use public power to create private advantage, then hide behind branding, legal fog, and sham reform. Trump meteor is not an anomaly in the system. It is the system with its mask off. The democratic answer is not to pretend this is normal business or to wait for elite restraint that will never arrive. The answer is to name the arrangement plainly: a president selling proximity to his own market-moving speech, while Congress performs half measures around the edges. That is not a glitch. It is what corruption looks like when it has learned to speak in shareholder language. You've been listening to Systemic Error. Thanks to AltaNet for today's article. With it automated voice of Bryce. Thanks for listening.